We got a good show for you today. Today we have Evan Deckers. He's the long snapper for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's get right into the video. All right, so I saw something in high school. You lettered in five like varsity sports. Like, what made football stand out as the sport that you wanted to pursue in college?
I grew up on an all boys boarding school in Avon, Connecticut. Um, my dad works there, so kind of like sports were a big thing. I actually grew up as a golfer. Um, Wanted to golf in college, and then I didn't really start playing football seriously until high school. Um, and then I didn't know what long snapping was until my junior year of high school. Kind of a crazy situation. The snapper at the time on my high school's varsity team, he got hurt, and I was actually quitting football to play golf more seriously. And the coach came up to me and was like, "Hey, we need a long snapper. Like all you have to do is do that, and then you can golf the rest of the afternoon." So I was like, "Oh, it's a sweet deal. I can still be on the football team." So I learned how to snap that summer, and then kind of picked it up pretty quick because a lot of long snapping and special teams in football is a lot like golf. It's all repeatable motion stuff. And I kind of just went with that. That's when I knew.
Yeah, so what was like recruiting like for you in high school? Just so you
Recruiting
started
was
so late, I guess.
yeah, recruiting was really late. Since I started so late in high school, um, I didn't really have a lot of recruiting early on, and then I got a lot of preferred walk-on offers, and more came in towards the end, towards signing day, and then got my one and only scholarship offer from UMass 2 days before the last signing day. So I was like, I was gonna go to. I'm from Connecticut, so I was gonna go to UConn because it was in state,
Mhm.
the cheapest option, and then UMass gave me full scholarship, so I went there. So it was really late. I had to. It was a little stressful, but it was worth it in the end.
Yeah. So playing at like UMass, eventually grad transferred to Duke. Did you ever think about like going pro at the time, or was it always grad transferring?
I entered the transfer portal in the and my thought process behind it was I want to transfer to get a change of scenery because I had been at UMass for 4 years and I wanted to get a change of scenery before I made the strides to play professionally.
Hmm.
So I wanted to go to a bigger school with bigger games, more people, and kind of learn new coaching staffs, new schemes, and kind of like have a little practice run before pros. But it turned into something. I mean, going to Duke, they were 3-9 the year before I got here, and then we were 9-4 this year. So it was a dream situation for sure.
Yeah. So when you were like switching programs, you talked about going to a bigger school. Was there any differences in how like they ran and went about like their business that you noticed?
Um, so biggest difference between UMass and Duke is probably the amount of funding and the amount of like resources you have on a daily basis. So like at UMass, I mean they did the best they could, but it isn't that big of a football school. Isn't in a conference where they're getting the TV rights to a lot of games and stuff like that. So they just don't have a lot of resources to provide for the players. But when I got to Duke, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is kind of crazy. Like we got meals all the time, like, but like it's just like you're given so much more opportunity at a higher level school, and that's not saying you can't make the most of your opportunity at a place like UMass, but yeah, that's the biggest difference for sure.
Yeah. So, coming to this year with the draft and everything, what was the pre-draft stuff like for you?
So with special teams, you go to these like special teams combines. So it's like kickers, punters, and snappers we all go to like these different coaches, and they all hold their individual like kind of recruiting, scouting combines. So I did two of those, one in San Diego and one in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. And then it was kind of just snapping, lifting, and getting ready for pro day. And you kind of just always are just waiting for a call. You look for interest. You kind of make a list of who's interested, who hasn't called, who's talked to you, and what kind of conversations they've had with you. But it's now that it's over, it was a fun process, but during it can get a little stressful.
Yeah. And like when draft day comes around, did you have any idea of like what teams were looking to sign you, or was Tampa kind of just one that was out of the blue?
So I had a list. I had a list of teams that had conversations with me or had conversations with my agent and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I went to bed Friday night, not knowing anything. I mean, the only thing I knew for certain during the draft time was that I knew nothing.
Yeah.
To be totally honest with you, you kind of just do all you can do beforehand, and then when you get to those couple days, you kind of just you just got to be confident in that you did enough to get to where you want to be.
Yeah. I guess I got to ask the question, being signed in Tampa, are you happy because you get to play a little more golf?
Oh my gosh, you kidding me? I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to play golf, but I certainly, if there's any opportunity, I will not say no.
What's the best golf course you ever played?
Oh, um, I would say but it's between two. It's the Bears Club in Jupiter, Florida. It's
I live
Jack
in
Nicklaus.
Jupiter. My family lives there.
Really? No way.
Yeah, yeah. So I know right what you're talking about.
Yeah. I got to play there with my high school team in high school. I got to play there a couple times, probably three or four times. That's an awesome course. And then I played Marion. That's uh that's a killer of a course. That's tough. But yeah, those are my top two.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I reached out to you about doing this, you said like things kind of pick up in a week or something. But like since
Yeah.
being signed, like what's life been like for you and everything?
So it's a lot of like online communication, a lot of kind of just like thinking about what like just kind of setting up, planning, packing, all that stuff, getting ready to go down there. I leave Thursday morning, head down there. So it's kind of just getting ready for everything, fitting in snapping sessions here and there and stuff like that. So it's a little busy, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah. Last two questions. So if you could travel one place in the world, where would it be?
One place in the world, where would it be? Alaska. I'm
Why?
a big I like hunting and I like fishing, and I think that is a place that is unreal for someone who enjoys those hobbies.
Yeah.
And it's also just like beautiful country out there. So that'd be unreal. I got to go there one day for sure.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Last one, we always finish off with it. It's kind of a hard one. So when your career is over down the line, how do you want to be remembered?
Um, oof. So when my career's over down the line, I want to be remembered as someone whose name was never heard on TV, and their kicker and anytime they snap to a kicker or punter, they did really well. I don't want my name to be heard because anytime a snapper's name is heard, that means they messed up. So that
Uh,
I don't in the future I want to be coaching or playing golf. And the only reason why you know who I am is because you're a diehard fan of the team I played for, and you know the roster through and through.
yeah. No, that's a great answer. You know, Evan, I really appreciate you coming on, man. It means a lot.
Yeah,
Have you on back on in the future sometime down the line.
yeah, absolutely. Let's keep in touch.